well, but since our queen banished Iolanthe, fairy revels have not been what they were.
Iolanthe was the life and soul of fairyland.
To think that 25 years have elapsed since she was banished. What could she have done to have deserved so terrible a punishment?
Oh, something awful.
She married a M-O-R-T-A-L.
Oh, is it injudicious to marry a M-O-R-T-A-L?
Injudicious? It strikes at the root of the whole fairy system. By our laws, the fairy who marries a mortal dies.
But Iolanthe didn't die.
No! Because your queen, who loved her with a surpassing love, commuted her sentence to penal servitude for life, on condition that she left her husband and never communicated with him again.
That sentence of penal servitude she's now working out on her head at the bottom of that stream.
Yes, but when I banished her, I gave her all the pleasant places of the earth to dwell in. I'm sure I never intended that she should go and live at the bottom of a stream. It makes me perfectly wretched to think of the discomfort she must have undergone.
Think of the damp! And her chest was always delicate.
And the frogs. I never shall enjoy any peace of mind until I know why Iolanthe went to live among the frogs.
Then why not summon her and ask her?
Why? Because if I set eyes on her, I should forgive her at once.
Then why not forgive her? 25 years, it's a long time. Think how we loved her.
Loved her? What was your love to mine?
Oh, give her back to us, great queen, for your sake, if not for ours.
Her punishment has been heavier than I intended. It shall be as you wish. It shall be as you wish. Come to our cause. And now tell me, with all the world to choose from, why on earth did you decide to live at the bottom of that stream?
To be near my son, Strephon.
Bless my heart. I didn't know you had a son. He was born soon after I left my husband by your royal command. But he doesn't even know of his father's existence.
How old is he?
24.
24? No one to look at you would think you had a son of 24. But that's one of the advantages of being immortal. We never grow old. And what is he? He's an Arcadian shepherd, and he loves Phyllis, a Lord Chancellor. A mere shepherd, and he half a fairy.
He's a fairy down to the waist, but his legs are mortal.
Dear me.
I have no reason to suppose that I'm more curious than other people, but I must confess I should like to see a person who's a fairy down to the waist, but whose legs are mortal.
Nothing easier, for here he comes.
Good morrow, good mother. Good mother, good morrow. By some means or other, pray banish your sorrow. With joy beyond telling, my bosom is swelling, so join in a measure expressive of pleasure, for I'm to be married today, today. Yes, I'm to be married today.
Yes, he's to be married today, today. Yes, he's to be married today.
The Lord Chancellor has at last given his consent to your marriage with his beautiful ward Phyllis.
Not he indeed. To all my tearful prayers he answers me, a shepherd lad is no fit helpmate for a ward of Chancery. I'll go no more. I'll marry her today and brave the upshot, be it what it may. But who are these?
Oh, Strephon, rejoice with me. My queen has pardoned me.
Pardoned you, mother. This is good news indeed.
And these ladies are my beloved sisters.
Your sisters? Then they are my aunts.
A pleasant piece of news for your bride on her wedding day.
Hush! My bride knows nothing of my fairyhood. I dare not tell her, lest it frighten her. She thinks me mortal, and prefers me so.
Well, your fairyhood doesn't seem to have done you much good.
Much good? My dear aunt, it's the curse of my existence. My upper half is immortal, but my lower half grows older every day, and someday or other must die of old age. What's to become of my upper half when I've buried my lower half? I really don't know.
Poor fellow.
I see your difficulty. But with a fairy brain, you should seek an intellectual sphere of action. Let me see. I've a borough or two at my disposal. Would you like to go into Parliament?
A fairy member! That would be delightful.
I'm afraid I should do no good there. You see, down to the waist, I'm a Tory of the most determined description. But my legs are a couple of confounded radicals, and on a division they'd be sure to take me into the wrong lobby. You see, they're 2 to 1, which is a strong working majority.
Don't let that distress you. You shall be returned as a liberal conservative, and your legs shall be our peculiar care.
I see your majesty does not do things by halves.
No, we are fairies down to the feet. Fare thee well, attractive stranger. Fare thee well, attractive stranger. Shouldst thou be in doubt or danger, peril or perplexity, for us, and we'll come to thee.
My Phyllis, and today we're to be made happy forever.
Well, we ought to be married.
It's the same thing.
I suppose it is. But, oh, Strephon, I tremble at the step I'm taking. I believe it's penal servitude for life to marry a ward of court without the Lord Chancellor's consent. I shall be of age in 2 years. Don't you think you could wait 2 years?
2 years? Have you ever looked at your reflection in the water?
No, never.
Here, look. Tell me if you think it rational to expect me to wait 2 years.
Oh. No, you're quite right. It's asking too much. One must be reasonable.
Besides, who knows what will happen in 2 years? Why, you might fall in love with the Lord Chancellor himself by that time.
Yes, he's a clean old gentleman.
As it is, half the House of Lords are sighing at your feet.
The House of Lords are certainly extremely attentive.
Attentive? I should think they were. Why did 25 Liberal peers come down to shoot over your grass plot last autumn? It couldn't have been the sparrows. Why did 25 Conservative peers come down to fish your pond? Don't tell me it was the goldfish. No. Delays are dangerous. And if we are to marry, the sooner the better. true embodiment of everything that's excellent. It has no kind of fault of law, and I, my lord, embody the law. The constitutional guardian, I, of pretty young wards in Chancery, all very agreeable girls, and none are over the age of 21. A pleasant occupation for a rather susceptible Chancellor. But though the compliment implied inflates me with legitimate pride, it nevertheless can't be denied that it has its inconvenient side. For I'm not so old and not so plain, and I'm quite prepared to marry again. But there be the dues to pay in the Lords if I fell in love with one of my wards, which rather tries my temper for I governs away. With one for him, and one for he, and one for you, and one for ye, and one for thou, and one for thee. But never, oh never, a one for me. Which is exasperating for a highly susceptible Chancellor. Is exasperating for a highly susceptible Chancellor. And now, my lords, to the business of the day. By all means.
Phyllis, who is a ward of court, has so powerfully affected your lordships that you have appealed to me in a body to give her to whichever one of you she may think proper to select. And a noble lord has just gone to her cottage to request her immediate attendance. It would be idle to deny that I myself have the misfortune to be singularly attracted by this young person. My regard for her is rapidly undermining my constitution. 3 months ago, I was a stout man.
Shame, shame.
I need say no more. If I could reconcile it with my duty, I should unhesitatingly award her to myself. For I can conscientiously say that I know no man who is so well fitted to render her exceptionally happy. But such an award would be open to misconstruction. And therefore, at whatever personal inconvenience, I waive my claim.
My lord, I desire on the part of this house to express a sincere sympathy with your lordship's most painful position.
Painful position. My lords, I have much pleasure in announcing that I have succeeded in inducing the young person to present herself at the bar of this house.
The fairest, her lips have the rosiest show, her eyes are the richest and rarest, her origins lowly, it's true, but of birth and position I plenty, I've grammar and spelling for 2, and blood and behavior for 20. Her origins lowly, it's true, I've grammar and spelling for 2, of birth and position I plenty, with blood and behavior for 20. Of birth and position I high displeasure, and thus defy our definite command. 'Tis I, young Strephon, mine this priceless treasure. Against the world, I claim my darling's hand. A shepherd I, of Arcady, betrothed are we, and mean to be espoused today. A shepherd I, of Arcady, a shepherd I, of Arcady, betrothed are they, and mean to be espoused today. Mrs. Flowers to Saturday,
Now, sir, what excuse have you to offer for having disobeyed an order of the Court of Chancery?
My lord, I know no courts of chancery. I go by nature's acts of parliament. The bees, the breeze, the seas, the rooks, the brooks, the gales, the vales, the fountains and the mountains cry, you love this maiden. Take her, we command you. When chorus nature bids me take my love, shall I reply, nay, but a certain chancellor forbids it? Sir, you are England's Lord High Chancellor. But are you Chancellor of birds and trees, King of the winds, and Prince of thunderclouds?
No, it's a nice point. I don't know that I ever met it before, but my difficulty is that at present there's no evidence before the court that chorus nature has interested herself in the matter.
And have you the heart to apply the prosaic rules of evidence to a case which bubbles over with poetical emotion?
Distinctly, I have always kept my duty strictly before my eyes, and it is to that fact that I owe my advancement to my present distinguished position. When I went to the bar as a very young man, said I to myself, said I, and work on a new and original plan, said I to myself, said I'll never assume that a rogue or a thief is a gentleman worthy implicit belief, because his attorney has sent me a brief, said I to myself, said I. Ere I go into court, I will read my brief through, said I to myself, said I, and I'll never take work I'm unable to do, said I to myself, said I. My learned profession I never disgrace by taking a fee with a grin on my face when I haven't been there to attend to the case, said I to myself, said I. I'll never throw dust in a juryman's eyes, said I to myself, said I. Or hoodwink a judge who is not overwise, said I to myself, said I. Or assume that the witness is summoned in force and exchequer fees bench common pleas or in force, but perjure themselves as a matter of course, said I to myself, said I.
said I to myself, said I,
The army, the navy, the church,
and the stage. Said I to myself, said I, the professional license if carried too far, your chance of promotion will certainly mar, and I fancied the rule might apply to the bar. Said I to myself, said I.
Oh, Phyllis, Phyllis, to be taken from you just as I was on the point of making you my own. Oh, it's too much. It's too much.
My son in tears, and on his wedding day.
My wedding day. Oh, Mother, weep with me, for the law has interposed between us, and the Lord Chancellor has separated us forever.
The Lord Chancellor? Oh, if he did but know.
If he did but know, what?
No matter. The Lord Chancellor has no power over you. Remember, you are half a fairy. You can defy him down to the waist.
Yes, but from the waist downwards he can commit me to prison for years. Of what avail is it that my body is free if my legs are working out 7 years penal servitude?
True, but take heart. Remember, our Queen has promised you her special protection. I shall go to her and lay your peculiar case before her.
My beloved mother, how can I repay the debt I owe you?
Oh, shameless one terrible, they do not endeavour thy fault to dissemble, he parted forever. I worshipped him blindly, he worships another.
Attend to me kindly, this lady's my mother.
This lady's is what? This lady's my mother.
Lady's is what? He says she's his mother.
Go, traitorous one, forever we must part. To one of you, my lords, I give my heart.
Hear me, Phyllis. You leave me.
Not a word you did deceive me.
Hear me, Phyllis.
You did deceive me. The riches and rank that you prefer, the only means you use. So the richest and rankiest of you, myself for heart shall choose. As none are so noble, none so rich as this couple of lords, I find rich in my heart that's aching, one of you two, and I don't care which. To you I gave my heart syringe. Which? I do not care. To you I yield. It is my dog. I'm not aware. I lost for life and not for truth. It's not a fair. I need a calm to show my love. I do not care.
Can I, inactive, see my fortunes fade? No, no. No, no. Mighty protectress, hasten to my aid. The lady of my love has got me talking to another. Oh, 5 and 7 is a row. I tell her very plainly that the lady is my mother. Tell a little, hold on, wait. She won't believe my statement and declares we must be parted, because on a career of double dealing I have started. Then gives a hand to one of these and leaves me broken-hearted.
Are cruel ones to separate two lovers from each other?
Goodbye, our seven's not a row.
You've done him an injustice, for the lady is his mother.
Taradiddle, Tom on name.
That fable cat plays her his turn as well as any other. I didn't see her face, but if they quarrel one another, and she's but 17, I don't believe it was his mother. Taradiddle,
Tom on name.
I have often had a use for a thoroughbred excuse of a son in which is English for repenting. But of all I've ever heard, this is much the most absurd, for she's 17 and he is 5 and 20.
For she's 17 and he's only 20.
For this paragraph will be carry nobody at all contradicente. Her age upon the date of a birth is -8, if she's 17 and he is 5 and 20.
She's 17 and he's only 5 and 20.
Oh, Chancellor unwary, it's highly necessary your tongue to teach respectful speech, your attitude to vary, your burden are so airy, your manner arbitrary, are out of place when face to face with an influential fairy.
We never knew we were talking to an influential fairy.
A plague on this spaghetti. I'm in a nice quandary
Of hasty tone with dames unknown,
I ought to be more chary. It seems that she's a fairy from Anderson's library,
and I took her for the proprietor of a ladies' seminary.
For the proprietor of a ladies' seminary.
When next your houses do assemble, you may tremble. Our wrath when gentlemen offend us is tremendous. They meet to underrate appalling, doom appalling. Take down our sentence as we speak it, and he shall wreak it. Henceforth Strephon cast away crooks and pipes and ribbons so gay, flocks and herds that bleat and blow, into Parliament you shall go.
Into Parliament we shall go. That's our house supreme authority. Give command and large majority. Into Parliament we shall go. Into Parliament we shall go. Into Parliament we shall go. Into Parliament we shall go.
Every bill and every measure that may gratify his pleasure, though your furious arouses, shall be passed by both your houses. You shall sit, if he sees reason, through the grouse and salmon season. He shall end the cherished rights you enjoy on Friday nights. He shall prick that annual blister, marriage with deceased wife's sister. Title shall ennoble then all the common councilmen. Peers shall teem in Christendom, and a duke's exalted station be attainable by competitive examination.
long a chap remains on sentry go to chase monotony. He exercises of his brains, that is, assuming that he's got any. Though never nurtured in the lap of luxury, yet I admonish you, I am an intellectual chap, and think of things that would astonish you. I often think it's comical, Allah, 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 Allah. Nature always does contrive, Allah, 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 that every boy and every girl that's born into the world alive is either a little liberal or else a little conservative. Allah, 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 is either a little liberal or else a little conservative. La la la. When in that house MPs divide, if they've a brain and cerebellum too, they've got to leave that brain outside and vote just as their leaders tell them to. But then the prospect of a lot of dull MPs in close proximity, all thinking for themselves, is what no man can face with equanimity. Then let's rejoice with loud Allah, 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 that nature always does contrive, Allah, 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 that every boy and every girl that's born into the world alive is either a little liberal or else a little conservative. Allah, 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 is either a little liberal or else a little conservative. Annoyed? I should think so. Why, this ridiculous protégé of yours is playing the deuce with everything. Tonight is the second reading of his bill to throw the peerage open to competitive examination.
And he'll carry it too.
Carry it? Of course he will. He's a parliamentary pickford. He carries everything.
Yes, if you please, that's our fault.
The deuce it is.
Yes, we influence the members and compel them to vote just as he wishes them to.
It's our system. It shortens the debates.
This comes of women interfering in politics. It so happens that if there is an institution in Great Britain which is not susceptible of any improvement at all, it is the House of Peers. When Britain really ruled the waves in good Queen Mercer's time, house of peers made no pretense to intellectual eminence or scholarship sublime. Yet Britain won her proudest praise in good Queen Besse's glorious days. Yet Britain won her proudest praise in good Queen Besse's glorious days. When Wellington thrashed Bonaparte, as every child can tell, the House of Peers throughout the war did nothing in particular, and did it very well. Yet Britain set the world ablaze in good King George's glorious days. Yet Britain set the world ablaze in good King George's glorious days. And while the House of Peers withholds its legislative hand, and noble statesmen do not itch to interfere in matters which they do not understand, as bright will shine Great Britain's rays as in King George's glorious days, as bright will shine Great Britain's rays as in King George's glorious days.
Oh, shame! Shame upon you! Is this your fidelity to the laws you are bound to obey? Know ye not that it is death to marry a mortal?
Yes, but it's not death to wish to marry a mortal.
If it were, you'd have to execute us all.
Oh, this is weakness! Subdue it!
We know it's weakness, but the weakness is so strong. We're not all as tough as you are.
Tough? Do you suppose that I am insensible to the effect of manly beauty? Look at that man. A perfect picture. Who are you, sir?
Private Willis, B Company 1st Grenadier Guards.
You're a very fine fellow, sir.
I am generally admired.
I can quite understand it. Now here is a man whose physical attributes are simply godlike. That man has a most extraordinary effect upon me. If I yielded to a natural impulse, I should fall down and worship that man. But I mortify this inclination. I wrestle with it, and it lies beneath my feet. That is how I treat my regard for that man. Oh, foolish pair, think you because his bravery my bosom affords, I'll disobey our fairy laws, because I fly in realms above, fire that glows with heat intense. I turn the hose of common sense, and out it goes at small expense. We must maintain our fairy law. That is the main on which to draw. In that we gain a captain ashore. In that we gain a captain ashore. Oh, Captain Shaw, time of true love kept under. Could thy brigade with cold cascade quench my great love, I wonder? Oh, Captain Shaw, time of true love kept under. Could thy brigade with cold cascade quench my great love, I
I can't think why I'm not in better spirits. I'm engaged to 2 noblemen at once. That ought to be enough to make any girl happy. Oh, but I'm miserable. Don't think it's because I care for Strephon, for I hate him. No girl could care for a man that goes about with a mother considerably younger than himself.
Phyllis, my darling.
Phyllis, my own.
Don't. How dare you? Oh, but perhaps you're the 2 noblemen I'm engaged to.
I am one of them.
I am the other.
Oh, then, my darling, my own. Well, have you decided which it's to be?
Not altogether. It's a difficult position. It would be hardly delicate to toss up. On the whole, we would rather leave it to you.
How could it possibly concern me? You are both earls, and you are both rich, and you are both plain.
So we are. At least I am.
So am I.
No.
I am indeed very plain.
Well, perhaps you are.
No, I hope you're not going to fight about me, because it's really not worthwhile.
Well, I don't believe it is.
Nor I. The sacred ties of friendship are paramount.
Love, unrequited, robs me of my rest. Love, hopeless love, my ardent soul encumbers. Love, nightmare-like, lies heavy on my chest, and weaves itself into my midnight slumber. When you're lying awake with a dismal headache and repose is tabooed by anxiety, I conceive you may use any language you choose to indulge in without impropriety. For your brain is on fire, the bakers conspire of usual slumber to plunder you. First your counterpane goes and uncovers your toes and your sheets slip demurely from under you. Then the blanketing tickles you feel like mixed pickles so terribly sharp is the pricking. And you're hot and you're cross and you tumble and toss till there's nothing twixt you and the ticking. Then the bedclothes all creep to the ground in a heap and you pick them all up in a tangle. Next your pillow resigns and politely declines to remain at its usual angle. When you get some repose in the form of a dose with hot eyeballs and head ever aching, but you're slumbering teased with such horrible dreams that you very much better be waking. For you dream you are crossing the channel and tossing about in a steamer from Harwich, which is something between a large bathing machine and a very small second-class carriage. And you're giving a treat, penny ice and cold beach to a party of friends and relations.
They're a ravenous horde, and they all came aboard at Sloane Square and South Kensington stations. And down on that journey you find your attorney who started that morning from Devon. He's a bit undersized, and you don't feel surprised when he tells you he's only 11. When you're driving like mad with this singular lad, by the ship's now a four-wheeler. And you're playing round games and he calls you bad names when you tell him that price pay the dealer. But this you can't stand, so you throw up your hand and you find you're as cold as an icicle. In your shirt and your socks, the back foot with gold clocks, tossing Salisbury Plain on a bicycle. And he and the crew are on bicycles too, which they've somehow or other invested in. And he's telling the tassel the particulars of a company he's interested in. It's a scheme of devices to get at low prices on goods from convictions to cables, which tickle the sailors by treating retailers as though they were all vegetables. You get a good spaceman to plant a small tradesman first take off his boots with a boot tree, and his legs will take roots and his fingers will shoot and they'll blossom and bud like a fruit tree. From the green goes up to you get grapes and green pea, cauliflower, pineapple and cranberries. While the pastry cook pound, cherry brandy, will ground apple puffs and three corners and banberries. The shares are a penny and ever so many are taken by Rothschild and Baring. And just as a few are nonsense to you awake with a shot of despairing. You're a regular wreck with a crick in your neck and no wonder you snore for your heads on the floor. And you needles a pinch and insults your sins in your flesh is a brief. Your left leg is deep and you cramp in your toes and a fire in your nose. Some fluff in your lung and a feverish tongue and a thirst is intense and a general sense that you haven't been sleeping in clover. But the darkness has passed and it's daylight at last and the night has been long. Ditto, ditto, my song. And thank goodness now both of them all.
I'm much distressed to see your lordship in this condition.
Oh, my lords, it is seldom that a Lord Chancellor has reason to envy the position of another. But I am free to confess I would rather be 2 earls engaged to Phyllis than any other half-dozen noblemen upon the face of the globe.
Yes, it's an enviable position when you're the only one.
Oh yes, no doubt. Most enviable. At the same time, seeing you thus, we naturally say to ourselves, this is very sad. His lordship constitutionally is blithe as a bird. He trills upon the bench like a thing of song and gladness. How can we bring ourselves to do that which would deprive the Court of Chancery of one of its most attractive features?
I feel the force of your remarks, but I'm here in 2 capacities, and they clash, my lords, they clash. I deeply grieve to say that in declining to entertain my last application to myself, I presumed to address myself in terms which render it impossible for me ever to apply to myself again. It was a most painful scene, my lords, most painful.
Come, come, remember you are a very just and kindly old gentleman, and you should have no hesitation in approaching yourself, that you do so respectfully and with a proper show of deference.
Do you really think so?
I do.
Well, I will nerve myself to another effort, and if that fails, I resign myself to my fate.
If you go in, you're sure to win. Yours will be the charming maid. Be your law, the ancient saw. Faint heart never won fair lady. Never, never, never. Faint heart never won fair lady. Every journey has an end. When at the worst affairs will mend. Guard the dawn when day is nigh. Hustle your horse and don't say die.
He who shies at such a prize, he is not worth a maravedi. Be so kind to bear in mind, faint heart never won fair lady. Never, 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 faint heart never won fair lady. While the sun shines, make your hay. Where a whip is, there's a way. Near the line, your ring is there. None of the brave deserve the fair.
I'll take heart and make a start, though I fear the prospect shady. Much I'd spend to gain my end.
but water thin. In for a penny, in for a pound, it's love that makes the world go round. Love is love is quick and water thin. In for a penny, in for a pound, it's love that makes the world go
I suppose one ought to enjoy oneself in Parliament when one leads both parties as I do. But I'm miserable. Poor broken-hearted fool that I am. Oh, Phyllis. Phyllis.
Yes?
Phyllis! But I suppose I should say, milady. I've not yet been informed which title your ladyship is pleased to select.
I haven't quite decided yet. You see, I have no mother to advise me.
No, I have.
Yes, a young mother.
Not very. A couple of centuries or so.
She wears well.
She does. She's a fairy.
I beg your pardon. Oh, what?
Oh, I've no longer any reason to conceal the fact. She's a fairy.
A fairy? Well, but that would account for a great many things. Then I suppose you're a fairy.
I'm half a fairy.
Which half?
The upper half, down to the waistcoat.
Dear me. There's nothing to show it.
Don't do that.
But why didn't you tell me this before?
I thought you'd take a dislike to me. But as it's all off, you may as well know the truth. I'm only half a mortal.
But I'd rather have half a mortal I do love than half a dozen I don't.
Oh, I think not. Go to your half dozen.
Oh, it's only two, and I hate 'em. Please forgive me.
I don't think I ought to. Besides, all sorts of difficulties will arise. You know, my grandmother looks quite as young as my mother. So do all my aunts.
But I quite understand. Whenever I see you kissing a very young lady, I shall know it's an elderly relative.
You will? Then, Phyllis, I think we shall be very happy.
We won't wait long.
No, we might change our minds. We'll get married first.
And change our minds afterwards.
That's the usual course.
If we're weak enough to tarry ere we marry, you and I, of the feeling I inspire, you may tire by and by. For peers with flowing coffers press their offers, that is why I am sure we should not tarry ere we marry, you and I.
If we're weak enough to tarry ere we marry, you and I, with the more attractive maiden, jewel-laden, you may fly. If by chance we should be parted, broken-hearted, I should die. So I think we will not tarry ere we marry, you and I.
If we're weak enough to tarry ere we marry, you and I, of the feeling I inspire, you may tire by and by. Of the feeling I inspire, you may tire by and by. Enough to tarry ere we marry, you and I, of the feeling I inspire, you may tire by and by. So I think we will not tarry ere we marry, you and I, you and I, you and I.
But does your mother know I mean, is she aware of our engagement?
She is, and thus she welcomes her daughter-in-law.
She kisses just like other people. But the Lord Chancellor...
I forgot him. Mother, none can resist your fairy eloquence. You will go to him and plead for us.
No, impossible.
But our happiness, our very lives depend upon our obtaining his consent.
Oh, madam, you cannot not refuse to do this.
You know not what you ask.
Oh,
But
Mother.
Lord Chancellor is my husband.
Your husband?
My husband. And your father.
Well, but then our course is plain. On his learning that Strephon is his son, all objection to our marriage will at once be removed.
No, he must never know. He believes me to have died childless, and dearly as I love him, I am bound at the penalty of death not to undeceive him. But see, he comes. Quick, my veil. My lord, a suppliant at your feet I kneel. Listen to a mother's fond appeal. Hear me tonight, I come in urgent need. 'Tis for my son, young Strephon, that I plead. He loves, if in the bygone years thine eyes have ever shed tears, bitter and unavailing tears, for one untimely dead. If in the eventide of life sad thoughts of heaven arise, then let the memory of my wife plead for my boy.
It may not be, for so the fates decide. Learn now that Phyllis is my promised bride.
My bride! No.
It shall be so. Those who would separate us all betide.
I do, my lips have spoken, I plead in vain. A vow already broken, I break again. For him, for her, for thee, I yield my life. Behold, it may not be. Thou thyself thy doom
Yes, we're all very duchesses, marchionesses, countesses, viscountesses, and baronesses.
It was our fault. They couldn't help themselves.
It seems they have helped themselves, and pretty freely, too. You have all incurred death. Yet I can't slaughter the whole company. And yet, the law is clear. Every fairy must die who marries a mortal.
Allow me, as an old equity draftsman, to make a suggestion. The subtleties of the legal mind are equal to the emergency. Oh, the thing is really quite simple. The insertion of a single word will do it. Let it stand that every fairy shall die who don't marry a mortal. And there you are, out of your difficulty as well.
We like your humor. Very well. Private Willis?
Up.
To save my life, it is necessary that I marry at once. How would you like to be a fairy guardsman?
Well, ma'am, I don't think much of a British soldier who will convenience himself to save a female in distress.
You're a brave fellow. You're a fairy from this moment. And my lords, how say you? Will you join our ranks?
Well, if the peers are to be recruited entirely from persons of intelligence, I really don't see what use we are down here. Do you, Tallulah?
None whatever. Good. Then away we go to Fairyland.
Soon as we may, oh, and away, we will commence our journey. Happy are we, as you can see, everyone is now a fairy. Everyone is now a fairy. Now as the temple wall we know, choose the clothes to every know. Make up your mind that we will bring you to go to every street.
Up in the sky, ever so high, pleasures come in endless sea. We will arrange happy exchange, house of peers for house of peers, 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 house of peers for house of peers. Up in the